The iPad Pro is probably the best tablet out there, but it would be nothing I say, without all of the nice, fancy peripherals you can buy for the thing. Two of my favorite add-ons are the Magic Keyboard and the Smart Folio, two keyboards that offer pretty different user experiences at different prices. Here's the good news, if you buy either keyboard, you'll be very happy with your typing experience. Both keyboards magnetically and quite sturdily stick to the back of the iPad's smart connector and draw power from the device itself. Neither need additional power or charging. The 12.9-inch iPad keyboards both feel pretty similar to Apple's iMac and laptop keyboards, so it's quite easy to rely on muscle memory when picking up the new device. The 11-inch keyboards are naturally quite a bit more squished together, so may take a little longer to get used to. Typing on the Magic will feel pretty similar to any other scissor switch style keyboard. It's pretty quiet and just generally nice to type on. The Folio, on the other hand, is a little bit more unique, with its woven fabric keys and distinct clickety-clackety sound when you type on it. I don't know, how do you describe keyboard sounds? It originally took a bit of getting used to the sound and layout, but I soon fell in love with typing on this keyboard when I first bought it. The sound and distinct feel of typing on it is like nothing else, and it's mostly due to their raised profile and fabric feel. The keyboard area, at least, is also waterproof, as the keys are sealed beneath the hardened fabric. This means you're unlikely to ever accidentally damage this if you get it wet or dirty. And if you're someone like me who takes it pretty much everywhere they go, including on hikes, then it's probably a better choice for you. If you get anything on it, you can just wipe it off and move on with your day. The Magic Keyboard is not waterproof at all. The keys are raised slightly above the board itself, leaving a little bit of space for water and dirt to make their way into the board. You can remove the keys to clean it out, but do it at your own peril. I have not been game to try that. The Magic Keyboard is the only one with lights, but those lights do seem to suck a little bit of extra power from the iPad itself. If you find yourself running out of batteries often, I'd be turning those lights off in the settings. When closed, both keyboards offer protection on the two flat sides and leave three edges revealed. The build of the Magic Keyboard overall is a bit sturdier, so if you are to pick it up by the keyboard, it is far less likely to bend out of shape. The materials involved to make the Magic Keyboard sturdier does also mean it's a fair bit heavier, so do keep that in mind if you're trying to get an iPad as light as possible. The Magic Keyboard has two other additions the Folio doesn't come with at all. One is the extra USB-C port on the side of the hinge, useful. Second is this trackpad. It's quite small, but large and responsive enough to move the cursor around the iPad's screen as if it were a laptop. It also comes with many of the Magic Mouse and trackpad functions found in other Apple devices, such as 4-finger swipe. The thing is, iPads don't really need a mouse. Their OS and all the apps involved are designed around being touched. In its default position, the Magic Keyboard does move the screen a little bit further away from your hands while typing, so you will feel compelled to use the trackpad more often, but that's simply because your hands have less distance to travel to the trackpad than the screen. When I do the same thing with the Folio, the screen is way closer to my fingers, and it feels totally natural to just reach out beyond the keyboard to touch it. My biggest issue with the Magic Keyboard, by the way, is that it kind of locks you into this laptop-like landscape mode, and that's kind of all you've got. Now granted, you've got a bit of choice when it comes to the viewing angle, so you can kind of tilt it up and down like that, but for any other mode, particularly using it in portrait mode, you pretty much have to remove it from the keyboard, and now you've just got a big expensive keyboard floating around. If you've got it closed, you can't even really flip it open to check the screen. Like, that's kind of the best you can do. If you want to use it, you pretty much have to open it all the way. You kind of get the opposite deal with the Folio. You have almost straight up, or you have a 45-degree angle, and that's your two options in landscape mode. While that works maybe 80% of the time, it's not always going to be ideal, especially if it's sitting in your lap. The trade-off though is pretty good. If you want to whip out your iPad for some quick browsing, photography, or data entry in portrait mode, you can simply flip the Folio around to the back. The iPad will even automatically switch off the keyboard to prevent any unwanted key presses too. So there are all the differences. It's pretty clear if you want the most laptop-like experience, you want to go for the Magic Keyboard. The light-up keys, trackpad, and additional USB-C port all transform your iPad into a laptop-like device. The thing is, it's still doing a pretty poor impression of a laptop, if you ask me. If you watched my previous video, which was a review of the M1 iPad, you would know that I do not consider iPads laptop replacements. And if you're really looking for a laptop, you should just go and buy a laptop. My question is then, why buy something that locks your laptop into this mode when it's not even what it's best at? Sure, you can remove the iPad, but like I said, now you've got your keyboard laying around, and you've also taken off the only thing you bought to protect this. All up, that's actually why I'd recommend the Smart Keyboard Folio for most people. It gives you a hard keyboard when you need it, but if you need to pick your iPad up and draw on it or use it in portrait mode, well, you can just flip the Smart Keyboard Folio around the back. Oh, it's a lot cheaper as well.